Hello, this is Silvia Pavoni, investment editor of the Banker, reporting from the IMF World Bank annual meetings. And I'm talking to Luis Miguel Castilla, Peru's finance minister. Minister, thank you for taking the time to talking to me today. Peru has a new government to which the markets didn't react too well as it was announced, but now the mood seems to be more optimistic. Some of the reasons are also the reappointment of the central bank governor and your appointments as well. What are your plans for making sure that the country's economy keeps on growing and that takes the country also out of poverty with it?
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure talking to you. Basically, what we have is three main tenets that we want to pursue. One is keep our economy growing at least 6%, notwithstanding the fact that there's a storm, a potential storm, in the external environment. Doing so with macroeconomic stability, it's been one of the main assets that we've developed over the years, and trying to be more inclusive in our growth. We need all three things: growth, stability, and social inclusion. And to do that, for growth, we need obviously private and public investment. We were able to achieve high investment rates, close to 25% of GDP, and we need to keep investment flowing in our country. And we need to enhance productivity, especially because our economy has opened itself to world markets. Close to 90% of our trading partners are under some sort of a preferential trade agreement. The last one that was signed was with South Korea, with Japan. And so we need to definitely improve productivity, improve competitiveness to reap the benefits. So we're working on all three schemes, and they need to reinforce one another. Macroeconomic stability is crucial, and we are being able to have buffers of liquidity. We're running fiscal surpluses, low levels of debt, and that will enable us to put together a stimulus program, need be, in case there's a further deterioration of the world environment. But we're working on generating growth, employment, having investment come into the country, and obviously having social policies and programs that are more effective.
So the country is achieving quite a stable macroeconomic picture, and as you said, it has also developed an open market. But you also mentioned the external factors, so potentially being affected by what's happening in other parts of the world. What do you think are going to be the impact of a deterioration of the European situation?
Well, I think one thing is clear: that decoupling hypothesis doesn't really work. And we're pretty much a small open economy that depends on trade, and particularly we're a richly endowed economy with natural resources. So the channel really of contagion primarily would be the trade one, a decline of terms of trade or lower demand for our products. So for that, our cycle is pretty much correlated with the world growth cycle, and if a slowdown could affect us, that's in the trade channel. Obviously, if there's more nervousness, there could be a reversal of capital flows that are coming into our country. The last episodes we've seen in the past few days have been a lot of nervousness and uncertainty and volatility. We think that at the end of the day, I think investors are going to be very selective where they invest. And actually, I think that over the next few months, once things stabilize a little bit, you're going to see an inflow of foreign capital coming into our country.
Coming from parts of the world.
From the rest of the world, where it seems to be unsafe. Our fundamentals are very sound.
And unsafe now means Europe.
Well, I'm trying to
trying to be diplomatic.
Be diplomatic, but we're worried about Europe. We're worried about the U.S. I think the consensus is a slow growth for a while.
Okay.
I think the mood here is not very positive, but I think it doesn't seem to be a repeat of the 2008 meltdown.
Yeah. Europe and the US, of course, two important trading partners, but there is China as well, which is potentially experiencing a little bit of a slowdown, but still its economy is going strong. And I know that Peru is working with Brazil to develop the infrastructure within the region, and therefore making the trade potential with China even stronger. What are going to be the developments in that area? So developing the infrastructure within Latin America.
I think it's critical. We still have a large gap in infrastructure, and China is our main trading partner, and we've developed a very strategic relationship with Brazil. Actually, prior to being here in the meetings, we were with the president at the UN General Assembly, and we had a very productive talk with President Dilma Rousseff of Brazil, and we've built the roads that connect us with Brazil. 3 main highways through the north, the middle, and the south of our country, and I think there's a true potential for investment flows to even increase further.
Will financing of these projects come significantly from Brazil, I presume? And what is the
no, I think there have been PPPs, and those roads the infrastructure is already in place. Now what we're working is to facilitate the flow of goods and services. Brazil has promised, the Brazilian government has promised to work with us to reduce non-tariff barriers, to have more trade. And actually there's a true potential for Peru to become a platform to join Brazil with the Asian basin. As you well know, Peru is a member of APEC. And I think the Asian market is very important for all Latin America. And I think the bet is to use Peru that has preferential access to China. We have an FTA with China, and now we are interconnected. And there are plenty of investment opportunities in Peru, and to be able to mobilize Brazilian investment to the Chinese. So, and vice versa. So I think we're very optimistic and very happy to be in this potential virtuous circle, having invested in infrastructure, having opening markets, and close ties with Brazil.
So a hopeful future ahead of Peru.
Let's hope so. Yeah. Well, Brazil and Asia are obviously important trading partners, but that doesn't mean that we are very active with our other partners, and sources of investment within Latin America. In Europe, we just the European Union just approved an FTA between Europe and Peru and Colombia, and that should also trigger investments. And we're pretty much have negotiated trade agreements with other countries. South Korea is an important partner as well. And our government is trying to strengthen those ties. I think we have mutual benefit. Actually, we're even in negotiations to have a major Asian airline fly into Lima, and that would be very positive. Nowadays, to fly from Latin America, from South America to Asia, is very complicated. You have to go to the U.S.
Yes,
so I think having direct flights from a major Asian airline into Lima, that could also be a potential.
It's really going to help things.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to develop infrastructure to link the world with Peru, and then to link Peru within the region.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Sure, you're most welcome.